To replay your message, press 1. To delete and re-record your message, press...
Greetings and welcome to Growth Hacking Secrets. I'm your host, Mohammed Siddique from Atlanta, Georgia, and the co-author of New Success Secrets available on Amazon. On this episode, we have a special guest, Jonathan Tilley. John is a co-founder and CEO at ZonGuru.com. Please join me to give a warm welcome to our guest, John Tilley. John, welcome.
What's up, Siddique? Good to be here. It is early here in Los Angeles, but I'm up and ready and ready for you. So good to meet you. Good to see you.
Thank you so much. Let me start with this. Where were you? What happened? Who were you surrounded with that inspired you to do what you do today?
Yes, good question. So I think the pivotal moment for me was actually in Las Vegas in I want to say it's in 2012. I stumbled into an Amazon conference, and that for me was a pivotal moment in the penny drop for me. I was like, I was always wanting to be an entrepreneur, and I had this FOMO, and I always wanted to get there. But that penny dropped for me there, where I was like, I can start an Amazon business on the side while I still had my successful career as a advertising executive, and I could create a product and sell it on Amazon and make money while I slept. So that was my starting point. And I was surrounded by one of my good friends, actually co-founder Adam Hudson, who's a serial entrepreneur, just an absolute beast at execution. And we started then, and he just kept me going. So he launched his product, I launched mine. And then probably 2 years later is when we started the Amazon SaaS business, which is what ZonGuru is today, which is a software for Amazon sellers. And it helps you scale through data automation and helps you improve your business. So that was a starting point for me. It was a stumbling into a conference at Las Vegas.
What are the top 3 mistakes to avoid?
Yeah, I think the first one for me is, when you are an entrepreneur, there's a very strong draw to creating a very cheap software MVP, finding cheap services, creating an MVP and doing that as your start. And I think that is a common mistake and a big one to avoid. We did that, and it took us probably about a year to really redo the whole MVP, the whole product, and get it to a place where we could scale it. So I would say if you have a great idea and it's a strong idea, try and get a little bit of capital or funding and do a proper MVP, not the cheapest. So that's number one. Number two, if you don't have a salesman, if you're not a salesman yourself, you need to have a really strong salesman on your team. No matter how good your product is, if you're not out there selling it every single day, or if you don't want to do that, you have to find someone who can actually sell it and really take it to the masses. So make sure you have a really strong salesman, or if you're the one, make sure that you do the work to be a strong salesman. And then I think the last one is, there's so many options once you have your product, your MVP, your software live. There's so many options in terms of marketing that you can do. There's many. And my advice there is, don't try and do everything when you start. Pick one and do incredibly well at one. Then put your processes in place and then move on to the second one and the third one. So don't try and do everything at once from a marketing and a biz dev perspective when you start. Focus, do one well, then move on to the next, and just slowly build in that sense.
What are your greatest failure story? What did you learn and how did you recover from it?
Yeah, that's an interesting one in the sense that I don't think I've had huge failures. I think the biggest one was probably a near miss in a failure that I'm pretty sure would have closed ZonGuru early on. And when we started, we were looking to bring in a partner as a CTO, so a lead developer, someone who could develop our software and also be our CTO. And we had found the perfect candidate, and we had met him, and he was going to come on board, as sweat equity, build ZonGuru, and be our partner. And everything looked great, a very intelligent guy, but I just did not have the best feeling from a value perspective. And at the end of the day, we were going to move forward, and I just asked that question, can I work with this guy every single day? And I decided at the last minute to say no to that partnership. And very quickly after that, we saw what kind of values he had. And I'm so glad we made that decision, because if we didn't, we would have closed ZonGuru, because there's no ways it would have worked out. So when you hire, I think it's very important to hire for values. Yeah.
What are your top 3 success secrets that others can model from?
Yeah, I think the first one is pretty much in line with that almost failure. I think when you hire your teammates, hire for aligned values first. You can always teach skill sets for sure, and they can learn skill sets. And I think you have to make sure that you get the values right, because that's how you grow a sustainable, long-term business. And probably my number one value is curiosity. If your teammate doesn't have curiosity and they can't self-learn, it's a pass. So I think that's the first one. The second one I would say is it's a culture within my team, which is hire to fire. Anybody that we bring in, we want them to fire themselves from their position and their tasks, I would say, what they're doing right now within a year. So that helps you to really grow your team and to help everyone elevate their own skill sets. What they're doing today shouldn't be what they're doing in a year. Someone else should be doing that. So that's a really important secret to the growth of our team and the happiness and the retention within our team. And I would say the third one, it's a really important one. As a CEO, you've got to know your numbers. So every channel, what is your lead acquisition cost? What is your trial acquisition cost? Your customer acquisition cost? What is your ROI? Your MRR? All of those numbers are incredibly important, and they are so critical to know. And I'll probably throw a fifth one in there, is that you've got to have the data and the tracking capabilities to know those numbers. So that is from day one. You have to know what that is, because you can't scale if you don't know those numbers, and you can't invest your time and your money in the right place if you don't know those numbers.
We're about to move into lightning round. That means quick question and quick answer. Are you ready?
I am ready.
Yeah. What are you grateful for today?
I think it's the important answer, which is my wife, my daughter, life's journey. It's a fascinating thing, whether it's good or bad. I'm grateful for it. Yeah.
How young are you?
43. 43 is the age. Yeah.
John, you are not 43. You are 18 years old with 25 years experience.
Okay, that's good.
What do you want to do when you grow up?
I think growing up, I think it's just being impactful on people's lives. I think that's a really critical value to me, and that's what I love doing is being in communities and making an impact, whether that's work or outside of work. That's what I love to do.
How do you overcome a challenge life throws at you?
I think I have this saying, and you might know it. It's life is meaningless until you give it meaning, which essentially is a saying, whatever the situation is, there's always two sides to a situation, and it's how you take that meaning and what you do with that that helps you to overcome that challenge. So maybe to my own fault, I always in any situation look for the positive lining. What can I learn? How can I move forward? How can this help me grow? And no matter what situation I'm in, I just remember that, and I can always find that positive piece from any situation, and that helps me.
How do you start your day?
I wake up and wake up my daughter and get a few minutes with her, which I love doing. That's typically how I start my day. And whenever I start to get into my life, my day and my work, I ask myself 3 questions: what will make today great? And whatever those answers are, I write them down, and hopefully I get to do those.
So let me ask that question: what will make your today great?
I think today my two big rocks is to figure out a roadmap for our latest launch in India. So we're finalizing that. I think that's probably one. Number two is going to dinner with my wife. We have a plan tonight, so I'm hoping that happens. And number three is I don't know what number three is. Maybe number three would be doing some exercise. 20 minutes today on the Peloton. How about that? That'll make a good day.
What is the advice? Excuse me. What is the advice you will give to younger yourself?
I think the advice is don't sit on the fence, right? I think there's many times I can look past in my life where it might have taken me longer to take action than I should have, and certainly making the wrong decision is better than indecision at all, right? That's the saying as well. So I think have faith in yourself and take the leap for sure.
Once you have a revenue generating idea, how do you convince your significant other?
I think the secret is you don't have to convince. If you've got a great relationship, I think there's trust there, and if there's passion, I'll 100% get the support from my wife, and I think vice versa. So there's no convincing. I think it's sharing and moving forward.
What is the impactful business book you have read, and what did you learn from it? Can I see the cover, please?
Yes, I have this. Let me show you. This is it. Let's see. Oops, sorry, let me get rid of that. See, that was telling me to do my workout. It's called The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. Very short book. And I think if you read that, the lesson there is it's the everyday small decisions that you take in a consistent manner that can make a massive impact on your life. And it's absolutely true. In every situation, it's easy to do it one way, or it's easy to do it the other way. You've just got to make sure you make the right decision and do it consistently, and you'll get there. So it's one of the most powerful lessons for me, and it was the most powerful lesson during my first product that I created on Amazon, because I had a successful career in advertising, very, very focused and demanding job. But I just said to myself, if I can just take one action every single day, I'll get there. And that was kind of one of the starts. Yeah. And that applies to business, health, and everything in between. So
why being impactful is important to you?
I think it's just innate in me that I like to see my close community have fun and enjoy their lives. It's such a beautiful thing, and if I can make an impact on that, that's what I enjoy.
Who is your living mentor, and what's the impact?
I have a few. I think probably one of my top ones is Nelson Mandela. I grew up in South Africa. I was lucky enough to meet him. He was my president, and that was a really tricky time in South Africa. And his teachings there, and I think his success was focusing on love and unity versus hate and fear. And I think it's just a massive lesson that in any situation in life, you can look for the love and unity, and that's the way forward, rather than the hate and fear side. And that's critical in any part of my day or any part of the world right now, for sure.
What do you want to be remembered for?
I think again, it's just back to that impact. Living a good life. We have a short time here. The good and the bad. It's an amazing journey, and I want to explore it, live it, and hopefully have a incredibly successful business that allows me to continue to give back to my communities and enjoy life. That's it. Yeah, it's pretty simple.
Who is your ideal client?
I think my ideal client is someone who embodies that same spirit, someone who's curious, someone who wants to improve their life, and someone who just takes action. Especially our customers are Amazon sellers, and that takes a person who who has a vision for their business but takes action every single day and creates something. So the ones that really truly do well are curious, they set good standards, and they take action.
How can we support you?
I think allowing me on this platform and allowing me to, how can we support you?
How can we support you?
I think just allowing us to bring value to your community. And if you go to zonguru.com, that's, it's a great way to support us. Go and check us out. You'll get value. And if you're interested in selling on Amazon, or if you are selling on Amazon and you want to improve your business, check us out. I know that we can definitely help you.
We are about to wrap up. I'd like to have a few words about your today's guest experience on the show. Here is my question. What would you say about your today's guest experience on the show?
It's been great. I think you've done a really good job at asking some great questions and keeping it very focused, which is an amazing technique that is much appreciated, especially if you're on a lot of podcasts. Having it very focused is awesome. So well done, Siddique, for sure.
What would you say as a final word?
I think as a final word, wherever you are at with your entrepreneur journey or your business journey, have a vision for whatever it is that you're doing. Set your standards, and take action. And consistent action, I think, is the one. So it's a good saying, and it's applicable anytime. You have to always know what your vision is and set a standard and take some action.
Thank you so much, John, for sharing your wisdom with us today. On the behalf of Growth Hacking Secrets community and our entire team, we really appreciate you. This is Mohammed Siddique signing off from Atlanta, Georgia. Until the next episode, all good wishes.